what actually happened was I saw this as the liquidity. I did see this as the equal lows, and I saw this as the POI. That's what I saw. And I took a risk, set a limit here because it made sense in regards to the cycle. Set a limit and price tapped in. And as you can see, price moved away. Yes, family, what's happening? It's your boy Roms again with another trade breakdown. Hope you're having a good day. Hopefully your trading is going well and that you're making progress. So today I've got AUD USD. All right, and I've actually got, it's the same move, but two positions that I took on this trade. It's a good one. Let's get straight into it and let's see what happened. All right, let's go. What you can see here is, I'm gonna start marking up. So it's the 28th of August. So again, a few weeks ago, a bit behind with my trade breakdowns. I don't obviously share all of my trades. I just share ones that I particularly think might have some value to them if something specific happens. So what you can see here is you got this major move during Asia. As I said, because it's AUD USD, we know that price moves a lot during Asia. So there's also some kind of Asia news, and it's shifted or it's moved price up aggressively to the high side. But this is not random. This is not random. Yes, it's a news candle, but there's a reason for it. And the fact is, we had a build up here. So you got build up here, the equal highs, but also the previous 2 days, you had a build up here as well. So all of this here, all of this, right? That movement and that movement, this is just a build up for the inducement to then for price to come and take liquidity on the other side. I might not take it all straight away, but it's building up liquidity. So how do I see this price action? So as I came to the charts and I was seeing this play out, I came to it here, it would have been around Frankfurt Open and Frankfurt Open and London Open. But before that, also I would have seen this move, but then I would have thought, why is price doing that? And you got to build the story. You got to build the picture. You got to understand why price is doing what it's doing. You can't just try and trade every single inducement or every single aggressive move or every single set of vector candles. That's not how it works. You just understand what price is doing. What are the intentions of price? And that's a mistake I made for a long time, thinking that I had to trade every single inducement high and low. And a lot of them can be done, but it does take a certain level of skill to be able to do that, and it takes time to get there. But the best trades are when you understand the bigger picture story. In this instance, in this case, I don't need to go on a high time frame to break anything down for you. I can show you here on the M5. So let's break down the story a little bit more. So what we've got here is on 2 days before that, on the Monday, you've got first of all, you got a bearish channel build up. All right, so I'm gonna fly through this. So my channels aren't gonna be perfectly marked up, but it's just to give you an idea of what I was looking at. So you can see you've got a bearish channel, relatively equal highs up here, and you've got the inducement of that channel to the high side first of all, which is this move up. And so as you noticed, the whole channel hasn't been induced, but it's gone halfway around to the Asian midline for that day. And a perfect little mitigation there as well later that evening, but that's neither here nor there. So you got the inducement of the high side of this bearish channel, and then you've got the inducement on the low side of this bearish channel during the Asian session the following day. Okay, so that's the first cycle: build up, inducement, mitigation, build up, inducement, mitigation, you could say, right? So again, it's just the same thing, liquidity cycles. And then you've got here bearish channel, again, build up. And you've got another build up here with the equal highs created here. Then you've got the inducement. Okay, so although these are cycles within themselves and in their own right, and you can trade them, you've also got the bigger cycle at play here. And I saw this initially as potentially being the bigger cycle at play. So this is now Frankfurt Open, and you can see here, what I'll do is, I'm gonna drag this over so you can see that this is induced as well clearly, right? So I'm gonna shift over here to look at this price action now. So we've got the inducement high. Price has induced the highs during Asia. So we now wanna trade away from that inducement, don't we? So if that's the case, and we've seen that on the M5, everything's been mitigated, we're like, okay, how can we find an entry to trade away? Again, what I would wanna look for is another mini cycle to play out. So if I go down to the M1, you can see how this plays. What I can tell you is that this here is around Asia midline, and you can see here you've got a level, supply level, price might mitigate from. Don't get me wrong, I'm not just picking this out of nowhere. This is with the story. This is with the story, all right? This is where the last push down came from that took the low. So if I play on for a second, right, this is good. This is perfect. So stop. Okay, so you can see here, this is now why I'm waiting for a mini cycle. So you can see on the left hand side, you've got the inducement high, and then you've got, the first of all, the initial low is respected, but then you've got a relative breaker structure here. So all of this now, it's like kind of order flow. Price takes out Asia low down here, so structural inducement. You can see here, this is a mini cycle. Let me show you again. Build up. All right, and then inducement, and you got another build up here. It's very, very minute, very small. Another build up here. Oops. So build up, inducement of the low of the channel, yeah, and then you got the mitigation of the inducement low. That right there is a liquidity cycle within itself. When you learn to trade this, along with the bigger picture and understand the stories, it makes life so much easier. Anyway, back to the trade that I actually took. So you can see here, this is now London Open. You can see that this is now creating a build up in the sense that it's bearish channel. All right, add that in there if you want to. Let's keep it there for now. So you've got build up, and let's see if we get an inducement and a mitigation. Oh, aggressive. There we go. Build up, inducement, and then we actually had mitigation of this M1 candle here. And I call this complete liquidity cycle mitigation. Again, this is also in line with Asia midline, which is another confluence. I'm not entered it at this point, but then after we had the mitigation, we had a relative breaker structure. All right, so this is how price currently looked on the M5. So I saw inducement to build up, equal highs, inducement to cut the internal high and the high from the previous 2 days ago, and then price also moved away. So this is now London Open, so it's good timing here. Had the build up mini cycle, the inducement which mitigated the supply zone decisional area from the inducement. Okay, then we had the relative breaker structure. So then it's about find an entry for me. I'm gonna press play on to speed this thing up a bit. You can see. So this price action, I can remember where I entered, and it wasn't the best entry, if I'm honest with you, for me, from what I remember. But it was okay. Let me rewind a little bit quickly. So yes, perfect. So what we had here, we had the mitigation around of this Asia midline POI, and then we had the relative breaker structure, and then where did I enter? I then entered was around 961, I believe. So yes, here at this point here is where I entered. If I press play, okay, so now I'm triggered. If I'm honest, I can't remember exactly if I entered straight away or if I waited for a bit of a response first to then get involved. But either way, you can see here, yeah, that we entered, and then we started shifting, moving away. Right, so at this point, I knew the position was good. I'm in a good place, and then I was targeting. So initially, I was like, let me go for the Asia low of the following day. Initially, right? But then I was like, maybe I can even just go for this low here. But then I was like, let's just see how price plays out, and then we'll take it from there. So Asia low was my from the previous day was my ideal target. Okay, but again, you can have your targets, but it doesn't mean it's going to get there. So you have to just monitor price on the way there. So that was my first position. So I'm holding this now. And then because of this inducement, because of the whole cycle, because of the whole story, I was pretty confident that price was to trade away from here. So I knew that if I had the opportunity to, I would find another position if price, gave it to me. So if I go back on the M1 again, what you can see here, as I mentioned in the mini cycle that I mentioned before, the build up, the inducement and the mitigation over here. So what we had there was, so this would now, for me, become an SMT, smart money trap, okay? Fake breakup structure, and then mitigation of the zone. So I'm looking at this, price is playing along. Bounces, all right, cool. So let me actually, so I was about here. So yeah, the price on the 5 minute, it hadn't really actually tapped in properly, to be honest with you, but it was approaching the SMT. But I believe that this was going to get taken. I can't say for sure, but it made sense, okay? So I was looking at this now, and I was thinking, okay, so how can I get another entry at some point? And I thought, okay, if I'm still believing that this is going to get taken, any highs that I know that should hold shouldn't get ran before this is taken at least. So what I did was I had a look. I was looking at price action on the M1. I saw that this price had built up, induced, and mitigated here. So that's kind of a strong high. And then we had a break here, and then we had this build up here, build up there. We had equal lows created just before the SMT. So what I actually did was I saw this as a point of interest. That I'll use this whole area as a POI. I don't think I used it all to this view, but for now, let's use it all. I use the whole area as a POI. That's what I was looking at. And as price approached it, okay, there we go. So price came into the SMT here, took out the equal lows. So it made structural inducement. And then we had another structural high, more liquidity, built up. And I took the risk. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh, guys, I've got this so wrong. No, I did not. I've got this so wrong. Apologies. This is a blooper that you've seen. I'm not going to even edit this out and just go back and show you what actually happened. I want to put a screenshot up of my entries as well, so you can see. But this is the problem when you don't record trade breakdowns straight after you took the trade, because you just forget exactly what to place and what you saw live. What actually happened was I saw this as the liquidity. I did see this as the equal lows, and I saw this as the POI. That's what I saw. And I took a risk, set a limit here because it made sense in regards to the cycle. Set a limit and price tapped in. And as you can see, price moved away. Eventually, and you can see here, in this position here, price could have easily gone higher easily and mitigated here and then went. But I guess it's part of trading, right? You go your probabilities, and then whatever you think's best is what you think's best. So this is also now where I started managing the trade. So like I said, initially my target was Asia low here, but what I noticed here was that during New York Open, we had a cycle on the M1, liquidity cycle on the M1. You can see here, I'm going to show it to you. Build up. Inducement. You see here, aggressive move down. Then you had the break. And I wasn't looking for buys at all. So if I'm honest with you, I didn't even take this buy when I really should have. And you had the mitigation. However, price went up, came back down, gave an entry here. There we go. That's the entry on the structural inducement into the imbalance. That would have been a good trade. Take on the other direction. Stop loss above. And you aim for, I would have aimed for this level personally, because it created similar, like relatively equal highs. Let's see if it makes it there. Or another entry here, look, order flow entry, another order flow entry. And then, yeah, it gets there, 6R, cool. But I didn't take that trade. That's just what price did. Let me show you, anyway, what actually happened. So as you can see, so price got my entry here, got my entry there for about 5R. In total, it went to about 6. But at this structural low, it was about 5.5R. This one was 11R, went about 14R. But at this structural low, it was 11R. I actually took partials anyway when it got down here and started slowing down. But when I saw this liquidity cycle starting to take place, this is when I closed the position. When I started seeing this, the build up, then that aggressive inducement during New York Open, key timing window, I was like, yeah, the reversal's coming. And I was happy with, a 5R is okay. But, 11R, what I mean? Like, you can't really complain. Do you know what I mean? Although I didn't secure fully 11R, I think I secured about 8 in regards to the P&L because of my partials that I took a bit earlier, up here somewhere. So it was about 8R in total, I believe, and 13R for the day. Because this I didn't partial out at all. So about 13R for the day, which is a solid day. But yeah, that was AUDUSD. So you got 3 trade opportunities here. One we could have had an even better entry up here, if I'm honest with you, for AR. This was a pretty nice trade. The stop loss size was minimal. Like I said, I'm gonna put a screenshot up of my entry. And then this was a trade that I did not take, but it was a great trade opportunity. A nice little 6R. So guys, hopefully you learned something from this. If you want to watch more, make sure you hit that video in the corner, and don't forget to drop your email in the link in my bio. All right, God bless, take care, and we'll speak soon.